Okay, we're going to call the July the 10th, 2018 Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting to order. We're going to begin with an invocation led by Alderman Barnhill. Then I'll lead the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd join me in standing.
Would you bow and pray with me? Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight in prayer. Thank you for this wonderful city that we live in and for this wonderful community that we're able to live here and enjoy. We also ask your blessings upon all of the people who protect our freedoms, all of those soldiers, all of the policemen, firemen, everyone who participates in the protection and enhancement of our freedoms. We ask that you be with our world leaders. And we pray for world peace, but we also pray that you give each of us tonight, as we make decisions, give us this guidance that we need. And this prayer we offer in Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on the agenda is an opportunity for citizens to make comments on items that are not on the agenda. Our typical procedure is you fill out a speaker's card, which is located there in the middle column. I have no speaker's cards, and so we'll move on to communications for the Williamson County Commission. I see no one here. Then we'll go on to approval of the minutes from the June 12th, 2018 work session and the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting on June the 12th. So, appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Peterson. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Are there any recognitions tonight or any miscellaneous reports? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are deemed to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing body. They will be approved as recommended by committee or staff by one motion of the governing body. Tonight, we're considering items 19 through 21. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by the Vice Mayor, seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 3, this is a public hearing. Consideration ordinance 2018-07, an ordinance to amend the City of Franklin Municipal Code Title 15, Chapter 6, Title 15, Chapter 7, Sections 14-703, and Appendix A, Chapter 15, to revise and update parking regulations. Does anyone want to speak to this body? If not, I declare the public hearing closed. We entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
I have a question, Mayor, I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll hold the vote. Alderman McClendon.
This is, how's 3 and 6 different?
3 is more the technical side as far as parking regulations and
Not parking in the,
it's more the, help me, the municipal code section.
We've
Help me.
updated the code. Some elements of this, in terms of the parking ordinance, date back to the mid to late 70s, so there's some cleanup there. We did, when you considered this at the first reading, ask you to give us some guidance on the parking time limit. That is reflected in item 6.
Yes.
So
Okay,
really,
so-
item 3 is the cleanup of the ordinance, and item 6
Well,
is
I
the
thought so,
specific
but then I saw,
time-related.
Yeah.
the drawing, the map.
Yeah, we had incorporated it in the record. That probably makes it a little bit confusing because that had been on there when you considered it at the last meeting. But really, that item got translated into the ordinance. That's item 6 in terms of
Okay,
the
so
specific
3
time
is
limit.
just the cleaning up of the language and changing the fees.
Yes.
Or the fines, rather. Okay, I can live with that.
Any other comments or questions? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item 4, this is a public hearing, consideration of resolution 2018-40 to be entitled a resolution approving a revised development plan for River Bluff PUD subdivision for the property located east of Lewisburg Pike and north of Holly Hill Drive.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Alderman. My name is Chris Andrews with the Planning Department. This item is a planning and development boundary revision for River Bluff subdivision. This is located off Lewisburg Pike, across from Sullivan Farms. No additional lots are being created with this. It's to change the boundary. There was an access easement that's no longer needed due to a road that was finished in the Nature's Landing subdivision. So staff is supportive of this item, and we entertain your motion.
Is there any public comments? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 5, this is a public hearing, consideration of ordinance 2018-08, an ordinance to amend ordinance 2013-50, Atmos Energy Corporation franchise agreement to extend the term for an additional 10 years. Does anyone want to speak to this body? Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed. Entertain a motion.
Second.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Bransford, seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm good.
Good. Yeah, you've lost your voice. Item 6 is ordinance 2018-27, an ordinance to implement time-restricted parking within the core commercial retail historic downtown area. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Would you clarify what your motion is? Is it 2 hours?
For 2 hours? Yes.
And
Second.
second by Alderman
Second.
Berger. Okay, open for discussion.
I'm sorry. This is just a question, I'm sorry I didn't catch it earlier. In section 1, the very last of the paragraph, it says between 8 to 5 p.m. to include all holidays. I don't understand why we're including holidays. Number one, because we have festivals at almost every holiday. And number two, if it's a holiday, we're not going to have anybody working to enforce it.
Well,
From a parking person standpoint, to me, holidays should be excluded.
yeah.
I just didn't know what the
we did
reasoning
that.
was behind that. If somebody could explain.
I'm not
Who
sure
would
if
write
I'll
that
offer you
in
a
there?
specific one, Paul. Do you have any insight on
There's
that?
no specific reason, it's
It
just,
just looked good?
it just got put in the resolution that way.
Okay, well, can I amend
we'd have
that
to-
Yeah, yeah.
You may amend
to
it.
exclude holidays?
Absolutely.
Would that be city holidays?
No,
Want to be specific?
I guess nationally observed holidays.
So we have.
Christmas,
Yeah.
President's Day, Memorial Day, Halloween, I mean, I don't know.
Halloween,
I don't know about Halloween.
No, I'm saying all of them. All of the nationally recognized holidays to be
Not a holiday.
excluded.
I don't think
So we
that's
have a amendment to
Sorry,
recognize that parking will not be
enforced on
enforced
holidays.
on nationally recognized holidays. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Alderman Berger, you want to speak to your amendment?
I just thought it would make more sense to me to try to enforce parking on a holiday being illegal, where typically we have events that are around holidays, or if there is a parking, what is this title, Eric? The parking meter person?
Parking enforcement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Something else comes to mind, so, they more than likely would not be working. It would be a regularly uniformed police officer, and I think they have better things to do with their time, but,
And Sunday's not.
Right.
Saturday and Sunday are excluded.
right, so it's Monday through Friday.
Which goes to show you who the real target of this is. Well, it's not shoppers. Saturday and Sunday, big shopping day.
I didn't say Saturday. Saturday is.
I know, but the ordinance says that it's applicable Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Okay.
So
Question.
Saturday, roll down here and park all day.
Alderman Berger.
Question. So most of our shops are open on Saturday. It's a big shopping day. You're absolutely right. My question is the city going to be enforcing?
We just voted on
I want to know, is the city going to be enforcing parking on Saturday if we don't exclude Saturday? If we kept Saturday as part of the 2-hour parking? I would think it would be during the day. you know,
This says Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
And that,
Fine.
that, we had asked that question earlier in this, and
We
and
had
that's what
talked
we
about
thought
it.
the direction was. We can do a Saturday, we'd have to rotate the enforcement
No.
officer and that sort of thing to do it, which can be done, but we thought the general sense of the board was Monday through Friday is what you
Oh,
wanted.
okay, let's have a discussion on this Saturday thing. I think we need to talk about this. What are the pros and cons of including or excluding Saturday? I would like to hear. Anybody have any pros or cons? I
Well,
think
I
we,
agree with Alderman McClinton when he mentioned, we're trying to attract the rotation of customers. And if we want to have that rotation of customers, then we need to have some time limits. But if that is not our goal, then we need to just make it Monday through Friday as we indicated.
And,
And that will eliminate other folks, not necessarily customers.
And at least the city garage is not gonna have city employees in it, and
we
they're-
don't.
The county
we don't
courthouse,
have people working
that
on that.
lodge
No, we
is
don't.
open, the
Just
city
maybe a
garage.
little bit of a point, you have a motion that's about the holiday issue
Thank
right
you.
now.
We do.
We may want to finish that and then get to the
Let the
Monday
ho-
through
yeah, yeah,
Friday,
yeah.
Saturday
okay, good point.
question.
So I made the,
Okay.
so I need a second, I guess.
I did a second.
She did a second.
May I have a question on that?
Sure.
Do we want to say, you know, Brandy, you said just national holidays, correct?
I mean, I guess you
Is that-
can say holidays, I don't
Is
know.
that-
We have actually a list that we call the
city.
ones we
Works for me.
recognize as a city.
Works for me.
Yeah, let's
That
do
might
that.
be a little simpler for
Sure.
us to tie to, that we have defined.
I'm fine with
elsewhere.
that.
Right, because on days that are not nationally, they may be national holidays, but the city has employees working, then we're gonna have somebody here not being able to do anything
Let's
because
do the city, let's do the
Sure,
city.
whatever.
we have two of those, right?
So
You know
you're-
what my point was.
You're,
Veterans and
You're
presidents.
specifying in your motions, city recognized
Sure.
holidays.
Okay,
You
second.
recognize
So
as
we can
second.
tie to that with
Yes.
something we already have
I-
defined.
I'm really good with that. Second.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion?
How would someone who is parking know what days it's going to be
You're smart,
enforced?
that's true, but it's just one less time to go to court, I guess.
Well, you would note that on whatever sign you had up,
Well-
excluding certain holidays or whatever
Okay,
it
maybe
is.
you'd
Should
have
you
to
put the
name them
dates?
then.
Yeah,
That's
based
cute.
on the direction that you provide, we would have to note that on every sign.
Yeah.
Which we can do that.
And
Not gonna
small
list
print.
all the holidays, we'll just
No.
say excluding holidays.
Visit this website.
Yeah.
Just say, yeah, if you said excluding holidays,
Take a
most of the
picture of
people are
this
going to get that.
barcode.
And we observe all the national holidays anyway, so,
Okay.
Okay, any other discussion or questions? You ready to vote on the amendment? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes unanimous. You're a slow voter tonight, Alderman McClendon, so it passes 7-1. Next, we'll consider the motion on the restricted parking time limit in downtown Franklin. Any other discussion on that?
And we got its option A, right?
Are we clear? It's option A.
Are we ready to vote?
this is for the time, 2 hour, right?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
Passes 6-2.
I don't know if you could hear me.
We heard you.
Thank you.
We heard you. Okay, item 7 is new business resolution 2018-01, awarding construction contract to Kiewit Infrastructure South Company in the amount of $132,380,000 with the addition of an alternate A jet mixing system and equalization basin in the amount of $510,000 for the water reclamation facility modifications and expansion project for a total recommended project amount of $132,890,000. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Appropriate motion.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Blanton. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item,
Mr. Mayor, I had a question about the vote on number 5. Or not 5, what's the number?
6.
6, that we were just doing. I may want to make a motion for reconsideration if it's not covered, but we had talked about adjusting the hours for Saturday. Is that correct?
No.
No? There was another item we were going to consider, wasn't
That-
there?
No, all I talked about was the holiday.
thought there was something else. All right. My mistake. Thank you.
Sorry.
All right. Thank you.
Item 8. Consideration ordinance 2018-34 to be entitled an ordinance authorizing certain incentives to be provided to the Franklin Housing Authority in support of developing a 48-unit multifamily senior housing complex on Chickasaw Place. Establish a public hearing for August the 14th, 2018.
Move for approval.
Would you specify what you're moving approval for?
All right. To provide the incentives be provided to the Franklin Housing Authority in support of developing a 48-unit multifamily senior housing complex on Chickasaw Place.
And there's a blank there that specifies the amount of money is the reason I'm questioning what your motion is. They're requesting over $470,000. $70,000. So it's the board's duty to fill in that blank.
And, Mr. Mayor, this will be going to a public hearing. Do we have to make that decision at this time, you think? Is that, I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
You can amend it after a public hearing if you have reason to do so, but you do need to make a motion to make this formal.
So let me just walk through. There are 4 elements. The first element is $150,000 of future community development block grant funds to go towards infrastructure, basically sanitary sewer and water infrastructure upgrades related to the project, similar to what we've done in some other projects. The second item relates to what's called payment in lieu of taxes agreement that currently exists at $50 per unit, totals $2,400 annually. And then the fill in the blank items are the next 2. They relate to the request to offset road impact fees, which for this project are set at $251,184. The final item is an offset request for the parkland impact fees, which is $206,592. So that is the one we're looking for your guidance on how much you want to allocate. This will trigger essentially a budget, well, depending on what number you put in there, we'll make adjustments in the budget to accommodate it. If it's above $100,000, which is in the current budget, for a workforce and affordable housing initiatives, we'll need to look at going to our general fund balance to offset those dollars at this point in terms of where we are with a new budget. So this provides for us, enables that direction, provides that direction for us to do that based on how you fill in items 3 and 4 in terms of the impact fee offset that has been requested.
Alderman Martins,
Well, I'm
Vice
gonna-
Mayor still has the floor.
All right, I'm going to withdraw my motion because I don't know. We haven't talked about this, have we? About an amount? We have?
No,
We
didn't.
haven't specified an amount that the board is willing to file to fill in the blank, but we've
Well,
heard the request.
Okay, we've heard the request, but
Withdraw.
I would like discussion about,
Well, we have to have a motion on the floor.
Did you make a?
well, I'm not going to make a
I will.
motion
And
to
I'll-
give an
and I'll
amount.
second, and I can fill in
What's
the
your
blank.
My motion is that both blanks be filled in with $1.
Yeah.
That's mine, that's
Yeah.
my second.
Placeholders till we get to the public hearing, and then we'll have a discussion.
Appropriate motion and second.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
There are several
Alderman
things.
Peterson.
One of them, of course, is going to be on this because, I mean, like it's for senior housing complex. I really wonder how much road impact that is going to be.
$251,000.
No, excuse me. I said how much road impact it's going to be, not how much fee there would be, but how much impact would this
On
group
the roads.
of people have on the roads? I mean, this is just a comment there. And the other part is that on the $150,000, when we were talking about infrastructure, before, didn't we try to use some I don't know how to say, unused sewer tap or water taps that we had, that came back to us on something else. Is any of that available?
I don't know how that would fit with this request. Vernon, do you want to?
Thank you for bringing that up. I want to make a differentiation. The Community Development Block Grant Fund request for infrastructure of sanitary, sewer, and water are the mains that are needed for the site. We do have available some unused taps that can be applied to this property, but they're not asking for anything with the sewer and water taps. That's separated from this.
Oh, so you mean that they are not a part of what
No.
they're going to
That
need to?
150 is not tap fees.
That's not
It
tap.
is
Okay.
specific infrastructure.
Well, see, they've
I
got
mean, you have
water
that
taps
option.
in
That is a
here.
cost that they face, but you're going to use them here and not be able to use them on other projects. That's something for you to consider.
But
Once
I-
you use those taps, you're finished.
But I mean, I was asking, would that be of some interest? Because it's got on here how much money that they would have to pay in water tap fees and sewer tap fees.
They have not made a request for tap fee offsets.
But there are other groups that are well aware of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If I may.
I was asking, are there ones available, but they haven't asked for it?
The
We were here to the
CDBG guidelines specifically allow for the use of CDBG funds for infrastructure in support of affordable housing types of development. So that's an appropriate and allowable use under the HUD guidelines for infrastructure-related improvements.
Okay, so it just comes off the CDBG. I mean,
Any
the,
other comments? Anybody else want to make a comment?
well, there's a CDBG BO or something like that too.
Community-based development organizations, those
Yeah.
are some of the entities that receive money
Right,
that
right.
do some of the same kind of work, but it's not the same. The funding source is community development block grant dollars. And we would likely program it over multiple years potentially. It may not happen
Right.
all in the next program year. This would give us direction to work it into future budgets.
As mentioned, this will be moved to a public hearing, and we will have several conversations.
Alderman Berger?
Okay, so the 150,000 is coming from the, hang on a minute, CDBG
fund.
funds.
Community development
From,
block grant.
because that comes into the city.
Yeah.
Okay, then we're talking about the $2,400, $50 per unit in lieu of, okay? All right, fine. And then the impact fees would be offset, and those are the numbers we're guessing at, correct?
Well-
We're telling you what the request is.
the-
We're
I know.
asking your guidance
I
on
know.
how much you want to put towards
Right.
that request.
But there's numbers in here, 251,000 and 206,000, and that is an offset, right, that we're giving them?
That is the calculated amount that they should pay based on the size of the development, the number of
Correct.
units, based on our impact fee ordinance and the formula that is in both of those impact fees.
Correct.
So they have
Okay.
made a request to have the entire amount offset
Offset.
in both of those two impact fee
Okay,
categories.
got it. And of course, that's up for discussion of how much that would actually be.
Exactly.
So, we talked earlier about, and if we approve that amount and if we didn't approve enough, or that amount wasn't correct, then we would supplement from the general fund? Did I hear somebody say that?
That's what they meant
You're
by
replacing
offset.
our recommendation is,
waiver.
you're not waiving fees, you're replacing them, because we have
Okay, So
those
it's all
impact
coming
fees
from the
are
general.
tied to what we are gonna need from an impact on roadway development.
right, so we're gonna cover that through the general fund.
You would offset it, that's
All
the
right.
source that's the best source
Right.
we can identify for you.
But didn't they
Well, the
originally ask for a
motion is-
waiver
Yeah,
on
The
it?
motion is
Tough.
to approve this with $1 each
But
put
we-
into
right,
those
for
two
tonight.
items right there.
Got it. Okay, I'm
that's-
good with that.
that's the motion,
I'm good
so.
with that for tonight.
Okay, so, but whenever we look at this eventually, could we possibly just go to waive the fees instead of,
Yeah,
instead of taking the money out of,
General.
I mean, because originally, if you look back on their request before, it had waiver, and then that was crossed out and said offset.
Those two things is no different. If you
Oh,
just-
there is.
No, there isn't. It's a shell game. If you take it, if you don't take it into the impact fees and you pay it out of something else, it's nothing more than a shell
But-
game.
well-
It's
Wait,
giving up
wait.
the $470-something thousand is what it's doing.
Let me, the reason we put it in as an offset is we use those funds to
Right,
pay for
exactly.
infrastructure. Like the huge sewer plant project you just talked about, there's gonna be millions of dollars of impact fees to help pay for that project.
Exactly.
Those came from development.
Exactly.
This is development. They have asked you to waive those fees or offset those fees. Our staff recommendation is you pursue it as an offset because those impacts are still real. We're still gonna need to pay for the roads, we're still gonna need to pay for the park impacts related to development, whether it's this or others. And so, instead of a waiver, we would say, put your money where your mouth is in terms of supporting it and keeping that fund whole, by doing a true offset. You have the choice to waive it. We pay them ourselves. When the city does developments, we pay impact fees ourselves. So it's something we have not gotten in the habit of waiving development fees because we feel they relate very much to the infrastructure the public expects us to provide. And so it's a policy choice, but I guess our strong recommendation is if you're gonna do it, offset it. It has a cost. And if you purely waive it, then you've shifted that cost to other people that are paying in or the rest of our capital program because those dollars aren't there to help us pay for whatever infrastructure we might rely on, impact fees to help us pay.
It's no different if you wrote them a check
That's right.
and gave it to them and told them to pay the impact fees out of their check. And you wrote it out of the general fund. It's no difference.
I agree.
I mean, it may not be legal, but there's no difference in what you're doing. So,
Yeah,
But may I say, if you're gonna take it out of the general fund, you're doing the same thing anyway.
I just got through saying it was a shell game and what you're doing.
Call the
so-
question.
Yep, I'm satisfied
Can I
with
ask
that.
one
Second.
Ready to vote?
about something
We have to
different?
vote.
Everybody ready to vote?
No.
Question's been called, there's a
no,
motion
we have
and a
to vote on
second.
that.
All in favor of
No,
voting,
you have to vote
calling
on
the
call the
question, say
question.
aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No?
No.
So it passes 6-2. So, ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
I'm gonna vote no, just because you did not let me ask, what was the usual
I'm voting no, too.
payment in lieu of? They said $50 here, I just wanted to know what it was for the other things that they're doing the pilot on. So have that ready.
Motion
have that
passes, you're
ready for
out of
next
order,
time.
Alderman Peterson.
Please have that ready for next time.
Next is item 9, is contract 2018-0152 for donation agreement with Barry Alexander Automotive LLC, valued in the amount of $285,658.13.
Move for approval.
Second.
Appropriate motion second. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 10, consideration resolution 2018-55, a resolution awarding the construction contract to Renaissance Inc. in the amount of $30,829.16 for the demolition of structures located at 403 and 405 Hillsborough Road.
Move approval.
Second.
Appropriate motion, seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Number 11, consideration resolution 2018-57, a resolution awarding the construction contract to Adams Contracting LLC in the amount of $256,225.10 for the Carnton Lane Culvert Replacement Project.
Move for approval.
Seconded by Alderman Speedy. Any discussion?
I still have the question about when we had discussed this before. I read in this that it was, the city administrator approved a professional services agreement to survey and design this. I honestly do not remember whenever we discussed it. I do not recall that we had it on any kind of priority list.
Any other comments or questions? You ready to vote?
Could I ask, when did we vote on it?
It was
Yeah, here.
a failure. I don't, did we have it on a CIC discussion?
No, it was presented as part of the annual budget as a priority project that needed funding. And as we brought those budgets forward, while it's not itemized out in the budget, there was always a presentation showing the projects in which we intended to accomplish.
So, and it was a failure, so it was the design, the preliminary design work at least was within my administrative
Yes.
authority. So
Yep.
I advanced it so that we could look at it since it was a failure. It really is coming to you now for consideration.
Well, I just want to say, we have never, as far as I can tell, prioritized any stormwater at all. And so I think that that certainly is going to have to be a part of the next capital.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Any other comments? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 12 is Resolution 2018-56, a resolution to finalize the property acquisition associated with Fire Station Number 7.
Move for approval.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 13, Resolution 2018-53, a resolution authorizing staff to proceed with the home raising project development by the United States Army Corps of Engineers as part of the Harpeth River feasibility study.
Once again, that just, Mr. Mayor, this just gets us into the program.
Move approval.
Appropriate
Second.
motion,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Open for discussion. Alderman Bransford, you're
Once again,
recognized.
this motion just gets us into the program for this 65% funding.
Yes. Any other comments? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Was that in opposition? Passes unanimously. Item number 14, consideration amendment number 1 of professional services agreement with C&T Engineering and Inspection LLC for the Goose Creek End Sanitary Sewer Extension Project in an amount not to exceed $33,810.
For approval.
Appropriate motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 15, consideration of professional services agreement with Bowker and Associates Incorporated Consulting Engineers for a comprehensive assessment of odor emissions and their control in the Franklin, Tennessee wastewater collection and treatment system in an amount not to exceed $40,740. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Speedy, seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item 16, consideration of the appointment of Mr. Walker Entwistle to the Battlefield Preservation Commission as a representative from Franklin's charge.
Move for approval.
Appropriate. Seconded by Alderman Bransford. Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 17 is a resolution to extend it's Resolution 2018-59, a resolution to extend the employment contract with City Administrator Eric Stuckey.
Move for approval.
Second.
Appropriate motion, second by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. Item number 18 is Alderman Martin is going to recuse herself. Consideration Amendment 6 to Professional Services Agreement, City of Franklin contract with Smith Seckman Reed for the water treatment plant modifications project in an amount not to exceed $21,900. We forgot we were locked in. So, is there a motion? Is there a motion?
Bad.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Ready to vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously with, 7 with 1 recusal. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Berger seconded that motion. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Passes unanimously.